This is the Chief and Shawn show, and we are live in the 405.
We're not live, but we are back.
We're live.
No, we're not. We are back.
And we're live.
Weekly, not live.
We're sort of live.
Okay, to everyone listening, or,
the people who are listening.
the few that listen, here's the deal. Speed Society is going to be hosting all of these podcasts. You're going to be seeing a ton from these guys. How big are they, Shawn?
It's the biggest automotive website in the world, and, they got a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, we're stoked to be working with guys like that for sure. Anytime we can align ourselves with other huge automotive people, this is perfect. So,
also, stop listening now and go and like it and comment on it, and the sooner you do that, hopefully, the more podcast episodes you'll hear.
yeah, the Crow 405, Murder Nova, Midwest Streetcars. Like it, comment on us, tell us who you are, tell us why you listen to it. Keep this going, please. There are people that don't want this to keep going.
Yeah, there's people right now trying to put an end to this. They don't want us on the air.
And we got guys like Speed Society that want to help us keep it going. So
welcoming us.
Let's do it. Rock and roll. Help everybody out.
And while you're there, check it out. Their website's awesome.
Okay. It is Tuesday, right?
It is.
And we're in the freaking mess shack, right?
Yay.
Like clockwork.
See? Told
As
you we were going to
always.
do this.
As always.
Where else would we be on a
You
Tuesday?
can set your watch to this damn
right.
podcast. We're going
right.
to do it every Tuesday, just like we said we would.
At least 2 in a row, anyway.
Yep.
That's McDoogle. If you don't know who that is, we call him. He has many AKAs. McDoogle, Justin McDaniel, Race Car, Flashlight.
Yeah.
He's been called many things.
A lot of bad names. Goad calls me a douche.
Deer Hunter extraordinaire. He's got many names. We just call him Race Car because he thinks he's a race car. So he's in the mess shack with us today. We're gonna be talking about lots of different stuff, right?
Hell yeah.
You got anything you got stuff you want to talk about today,
I got
right?
several things.
You got several things.
All my favorite things.
Your favorite stuff. Well, this is a good place to do it.
Yep. Just let it out.
Yeah, you can just let it all out.
This
buddy.
is like talking to a certified counselor. You just lay on the futon
Yeah.
and tell your problems.
Yeah, this is like the safe tree.
Yeah.
This is like
this is the trust tree.
The home nest.
Circle of trust.
Yes.
This is the nest. Yeah, you can say whatever you want in here. No one can do anything about it, right?
Nope.
They damn
Well,
sure
I mean,
can't
There's
stop
no
you.
judging going on by us.
We don't judge you.
They
Not
can't
at all.
stop you from saying things. That's for damn sure.
No, they can't stop you. They can get mad at you afterwards, trust me, but they can't stop you from saying it. That's the beauty of America. Speaking of America, we've got this new deal coming up with some shirts for Precision I want to talk about here. And but before I do, you actually have military experience. You have fought for our country?
Yes.
You've been in
I
the
was,
military.
I was Air Force.
You were Air Force. Air Force.
Yeah, same
You're
thing.
Air Force.
Same thing. Yeah, I was in the rear with the gear.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to fly jets so bad. I'm a crazy jet person. I'm so into airplanes. It's ridiculous. When I was a little kid, I was obsessed with airplanes. But
When
so
you were a little kid,
yeah,
and then it just kind of carried over to when you was a big kid.
okay. I'm still obsessed with airplanes
Because he still comes in and shows us videos of airplanes and shit all the time.
He still runs around the yard with his arms out going, airplane, airplane.
When he's driving down the highway, he does this out the window.
He's checking his aerodynamics of his hand.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever, guys.
He still, if a plane flies over, you know what that is? Fuck no, I don't. You know. And then he starts telling us what it is. Then he'll tell you a little background story on it and all kinds of shit.
Hey, man,
So
I like
you
it.
never know what you're going to learn in a day. Of a Midwest streetcar.
I'm still a kid. Okay, I'm sorry. I like airplanes. I like airplanes.
Nothing wrong with that.
Among other things.
What? Oh, don't even. I know.
What?
I like birds. Okay, I like birds.
I know.
Among
We
other
have
things.
conversations about
I like
birds all the
birds.
time.
Among other things.
What else do I like?
You like the stars?
I like stars. Okay.
If it's night, yeah, you can't keep his attention. He's looking up. You know what that one is? That looks like that's a star, sir. He's like, nope, that's a planet. I'm
Okay.
going, yeah, star
Same
planet.
thing.
I like
it's
all-
twinkly up there.
I like things above the earth. I like birds, planes, and stars. Okay.
Yeah.
You're an awfully big
I'm a-
human to be trying to
I'm a
envision
bird.
flying.
I'm a bird nerd, I guess. I do. I actually do. I actually sit outside at night and look at stars by myself, and I may or may not be in some sort of way organically induced to like them more than normal, right? So I like to sit there and look at stars. I like to figure out which ones are which. It's the only thing, right? I'm not a really big religious guy, but it's the only thing that's there. Like when you go to bed at night and you wake up the next morning, you can guarantee you don't have to have faith. You don't have to like read a book that some guy wrote about something that you're supposed to believe in. You can just look up. They're
There's
always
proof
there.
that it's there.
100%. It's always there, no matter what. Guaranteed.
And you can see it in your telescope, and you can watch your birds in your
I have-
binoculars that you have in your
Hey,
trucks.
I have a lot of binoculars, okay? Okay. Look, I like birds, man.
No, I know. I learned a lot about birds listening to you.
Yeah.
And stars.
I
like the crow stories he tells whenever the crows are ganging up on.
Oh, dude.
Get a hawk out there with a gang of crows on him.
I'll sit there and watch those crows in my backyard. I'll sit there and watch them all day sometimes. I mean, I like birds, so what? I'm kind of a nerd. I like to go bird. I don't like to like go bird watching with other bird nerds, but I like to sit there on my
nerds.
Yeah, and they don't,
And he's a closet nerd. He don't like to admit it.
I don't want anybody to know I'm a nerd, but I do. I like to sit out there and get all twisted off and look at birds and stars and planes, whatever.
Well, this is a circle of trust. You can tell us
That's
that.
that's the only reason I'm talking
No
about it.
judging
Because
here.
I feel like once I get it off my chest, and you guys aren't going to tell anybody, right?
I ain't going to
No.
tell a soul.
And it's just us in here, so we're okay.
Yeah, there's 4 in here. We ain't
There's
tell
just
nobody.
it's just me and McDoogle and Shawn and our producer Phantom, right?
Yep.
And we're all sworn to secrecy. Yes.
I won't tell nobody.
All right. Nobody tell anybody that I like birds and planes and stars. Okay.
You're a
But
nerd.
if you ever want to come over and hang out, I got enough for everybody, and we can all look at birds.
What?
And binoculars.
Oh.
What do you think I was talking
I
about,
didn't
Shawn?
know.
Oh, okay.
The
Lucky
induced
Charms.
part.
No. Oh no. That's
Oh.
that's a chemical reaction that my brain has. It's like a pheromone
To what?
to birds.
Oh.
And anything that's high above the earth, I try
You
to get there
react to?
with them. I'm trying to assume the position of high.
Yeah.
That way you're never low.
I promise you, I ain't never low, never. But you've been in the military.
Yep.
Where were you at?
I was at Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico. That's where I spent my whole time.
New Mexico. That's way south New Mexico.
All the way down by El Paso almost.
Sounds hot.
Yeah. It's in the White Sands Missile Range. Like
That's where
120
those,
degrees right now down
That's
there.
where those girls were from at race night this weekend.
Was it?
The tall ones. Yep.
I didn't recognize them. I
No.
seen them, but I didn't recognize them.
No, I never seen them before.
That was the first time. They're
but
all
they
from
were
New
there.
Mexico?
One of them was extreme back half.
Yes. Damn
They're
sure
from way
was.
south New Mexico. They're buddies with Chuck 55 or whatever. So, but yeah, they're from way south New Mexico. I don't know anybody from down there but them. So
I'm from down there for
yeah,
like 3.5 years worth.
You were down there for 3.5 years in the Air Force. What'd you do?
I was a generator mechanic.
Generator mechanic.
I
You kept
fixed on
things lit.
things. Yep.
See?
That was my
He
that was
fixed
my
on
job.
things.
Was to fix on things.
All right. Well, 4th of July is coming up. Oh, so thank you, McDoogle, for your service.
No problem. Anytime.
I've never had the balls to go into the military and protect the rest of this country. My whole family has. My dad, my brother, my grandpa. I mean, both sides of my family. All the men went to the Air Force or the military. My brother was too stupid. He's in the Army.
Yeah.
My dad, he was discharged from something. I'm sure it was honorably though.
Surely.
Now they were all in the military. I'm the only one that never really went. I never really had the balls to. I wanted to go to the Air Force, but I didn't have the eyesight and stuff and the physical ability. So
you were here taking care of the streets.
yeah, I'm here on the streets, and I kind of got a bad record of attendance and stuff.
Yeah.
So thank you for your service. The 4th of July is coming up, and I just got an awesome new Home of the Brave and Boosted t-shirt from Precision Turbo and Engine, and it helps support the most severely injured post 9/11 war veterans. Precision Turbo and Engine will donate $10 of every item sold to the Homes for Our Troops charity, in which nearly 90 cents of every dollar goes directly to the program. This non-profit charity builds mortgage-free, specially adapted homes for our veterans who have suffered life-altering injuries. These homes restore some of the freedom and independence our veterans sacrificed while defending our great country, and enable them to focus on their family, recovery, and rebuilding their lives. Since 2004, Homes for Our Troops has built 214 specially adapted homes nationwide.
That's
so,
cool.
It's pretty cool, everything that they're doing and what it's going for, So head on over to shop.precisionturbo.net and scoop up your Home of the Brave and Boosted t-shirt, hoodie, or ladies V-neck just in time for the 4th of July, all while supporting a great cause. We know we'll be wearing ours. They sent us a bunch. We always support, Precision, and we love their product, love what they do, So we'll be wearing ours year round to show our support to all the amazing men and women who have fought and are fighting for the greatest country in the world.
And to all the troops and veterans listening out there, thank you from Big Chief, Shawn, and Precision Turbo. And Race Car.
And Race Car. And
And
McDoogle.
me.
McDoogle
Thank
the
you.
Race
And
Car.
Flashlight.
Flashlight. And
Had lots of names.
As
That's a pretty cool program.
Goat calls you
It is pretty cool.
asshole or douchey, McDouche
Yeah.
or whatever. Douchey McDouchebag or something.
I had
right?
somebody yell at me for, I can't believe you'd pick on a veteran like that on TV. I'm like, wait,
I
I'm a
heard lot
veteran
of people
too.
Say,
Like,
Oh, because the safari guy was wearing the hat?
yeah, I was like, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going to run through these real quick on my notes here before we get started, because once we get started, I feel like we're going to talk about this pretty good. So,
Yes.
Our diecast cars, limited edition, on sale at MidwayStreetCars.com. So, I know that my children are freaking insane for diecast cars and Hot Wheels cars and
Yes.
Matchbox cars, and we finally have a Crow and Murder Nova diecast car. I'm actually playing with them right now. Like, they're on the desk right here, and the Crow is way cooler than the Murder Nova, though. I don't know. The Murder Nova's hood pops, which is a big thing for my kids. They're a little mad that the Crow's hood doesn't pop. But like I told them, it's a fiberglass one-piece front end. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The hood doesn't pop.
All one.
The Murder Nova is a steel bucket. It has a hood that pops.
Yes.
But
Street car.
they actually, the car, like my car, it has Hoosier tires. It says the Crow all over it. I mean, it says twin turbo. I mean, it's the real deal. Sean's car has a license plate. It says Murder on it. I mean, these are as close as you can get to the real thing. Go pick a couple of them up at MidwayStreetCars.com. Make sure you get some for yourself, because your kids are going to mess them all up, and then you're going to get mad.
Yes.
So get a couple for you as well. We also have new T-shirts, lots of other cool stuff. Go check it out. We're still poor, so we have to act like this and say stuff that you guys may not want to listen to, but it gets us paid, right? So until we become rich
And not have to worry about that.
and not have to
stuff.
worry about it, go buy a car or a T-shirt from us, please. Part two of Wanda, my little shop truck, the little black shop truck with the Pro Charger. Part 2 of that tech story is coming soon. Finally got the fuel system installed. Probably going to go ahead and put nitrous on it, dyno it. Probably go do some donuts. I was doing donuts the other night in it. It was pretty cool. We were ripping it. I had me and Shawn and Kamikaze in the truck.
Yes.
In a regular cab pickup, 3
Thing
deep,
sounds good.
with only a jump seat in the middle. Man, we were having a good time. So that'll be up soon. We're gonna finish that up this week, hopefully. Now that the main bearings in the Chrome Mod aren't giving me near as many fits, we have time to do more cool things.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, mine's running as good as we could hope for. So, it's not like we're busting ass all week long.
No,
Based
we're in
on
a
the
good
cars.
spot. We're in
Yeah,
a good
I feel
spot.
like, finally I'm in a decent spot with mine to where it's Tuesday and I haven't even taken it out of the trailer yet.
It is Tuesday. You know how I know it's Tuesday?
Because
Because we're in here doing a podcast.
Like we're supposed to.
Like
Every Tuesday. Every damn Tuesday, here we are. So, one more thing to try and help us pay the bills here. I keep reading this stuff, but man, I don't ever see the money from it.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Okay. What is this? This is good for McDoogle right here. You're a cooker.
I love cooking.
You like to cook, right?
I got me a brand new smoker this week.
You got a smoker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brand new for Father's Day.
Well, we always have a 4th of July gig at my house, and you guys always show up, and you bring all kinds of great food.
Yes.
You and your old lady make jalapenos.
I'd love those.
Yeah.
God, dude. It started as a tradition back when Flip was around. He liked to party. Flip
Yep.
liked to have cookouts. Flip liked to hang out and shoot rockets and have cookouts. So we started doing that a long time ago, and we're still doing it. But there's a lot of cooking that needs to go on. I'm not a cook. I'm terrible at cooking.
Either.
I'm going to eat, though.
I'm gonna eat. I am
love
gonna
to
eat.
eat.
I will eat. But there's a company called Blue Apron, but basically what they're saying is not all ingredients are created equal, right? Fresh, high quality ingredients taste better. That's what they're saying. Like Papa John's, you know what I mean? Papa John says they use all fresher ingredients, and I like it. Blue Aprons knows that when you cook with incredible ingredients, you make incredible meals. So they set the highest quality standards for their community of artisanal suppliers. What is artisanal? Artisanal. Why would they put a word in there I can't read?
I don't know.
Phantom, you're supposed to be my producer. You know I
It's
can't
supposed
read
to be,
Arsenal.
2 to 7 books.
Yeah. I mean, this is we're supposed to see spot run type of ads here, not artisanal. Family run farms, fisheries, and ranchers. Fisheries and ranchers. Are you a rancher, McDoogle?
Have been. Yes, I grew up on a farm.
A ranch or a farm?
I would call it a farm.
Oh, okay. With monkey?
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
where we learned how to
I
fix
bet,
on
yeah.
things.
Yeah, that's where you fixed all the stuff. You fixed on stuff. Whether it's Japanese ramen noodles, wild caught Alaskan salmon, or heirloom tomatoes, Blue Apron is bringing you the best. For less than $10 per meal, Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. Whoa, they'll deliver you a home-cooked meal? Hang on now. This is. I'm looking into this now. They're going to deliver a home-cooked meal for less than $10. All you got to do is heat this thing up.
Ingredients to make home cooked meals. I think they threw in a little curveball there. You still got to cook it.
Each meal comes with a step-by-step follow recipe card and pre-portioned ingredients that can be paired in 40 minutes. Yeah, so they're not going to let you fuck it up, right? They're going to give you all the ingredients and pre-portioned meals, and then they tell you how to put it in there and make it warm, and then you eat it, right? Check out this week's menu and get your 3 meals free with free shipping. Whoa. The only place I know you can get 3 free meals is prison.
Yep. And a cot.
And now Blue Apron. BlueApron.com/Chief and Shawn. They'll get you 3 free meals and free shipping. You'll love how good it feels and tastes.
Oh, I like how good it feels and tastes.
Here we go.
Combine this with them guys that bring the meat to your back door and
Yeah.
just set up.
Here we go. I'm going to start getting hot and all red.
I still get meat
bothered.
delivered to my back door all
I
the
know
time.
you do.
Yeah, you do.
He's trying to get me over to help him build a deck. I don't even want nowhere near his back door.
I'm trying to get you to come into the back door.
Yeah, he's like, my deck by my back door. You come help me. I was like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it says that BlueApron.com/Chief and Shawn gets you 3 free meals with free shipping, and it's a better way to cook. So it makes you look. So I mean, like you got something going on. You got a chick coming over, new girl. Got your buddies.
And make
You're
you
doing
look good.
something. You just order this deal. They'll bring it to the door, give you the instructions. You warm it up, put it on the plate, and boom.
Ooh. Warm it up, put it on the plate, and serve it to her.
Yeah, damn right. Serve it right up to her,
Or him.
the group of people, or them, or him. I mean, I'm not saying couldn't be either.
Yeah.
It really could these
We're not
days.
going
and
to
age.
judge.
No, we're not judging.
Not at all.
Okay.
Truth tree.
Now that the bills are paid, right?
Yep, that works.
What the fuck,
Oh, man. Last night was
McDoogle? What the
beautiful.
fuck?
It was
Okay.
great. It was
I
everything
watched-
I hoped it would be.
I watched last night's episode, and there was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
There was a lot going on in that episode.
That was a very, very busy, informative episode.
I mean, normally, like, we do something crazy for finale. We do a big nationwide, this or that, out of town, cash days. You know what I mean? We do something huge for a finale.
Yes.
But last night just really showed the drama and hatred in this group for each other for the finale.
Yeah,
That
Well,
was
I mean, maybe it's going to let people realize. People ask me all the time, well, where's Dave or where's Doc? Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't hang out with those guys. I mean, people that watch this deal at home, they just feel like we're all buddies, And whenever they come to our shop, they ask us where the other guys are.
Yeah, like they're hiding out
fucking
back.
know, We don't necessarily like those guys, so it's not like a big family and we all hang out and.
Damn, Shawn.
There's probably
Dang, bro.
problems here, I mean,
So Sean's got problems. We'll just
Sean
let-
don't like anybody.
Let it out,
I
Sean.
don't
You're in the
like-
truth
no.
tree.
Yeah, no,
If you don't like these guys, let it out, man.
Yeah, I don't. I don't like to hang out with those guys.
I don't mind
We
any of
race
them
those guys,
except for
and
Goat.
That's it. We come together whenever somebody from out of town comes in, or we go out of town. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're all eating breakfast the next morning
Yeah.
together.
Most of the time, everybody's trying to fight each other.
Yes. So
Um,
that's, it shows a little bit of a look into, how much we really don't care for everybody else. They don't like us, that's for
No,
sure.
that's a damn sure. But they'll be nice to your face.
Well, that's always, In the episode the other night, whenever Doc outruns me, he's flipping me off. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you,
I didn't. I thought I was losing my mind. I was watching as I backed it up and said, "Damn, he really was mad
Now,
about it."
if he was yelling, yes, 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 there wouldn't have been a beep, beep, beep every time he did it, I mean, they're beeping out the fuck you.
Yeah, he was because
So-
he was beating his dash and
Hey,
hooping and
that's,
hollering.
that's part of it, man. If that's what it takes, You know, for him, that's how excited he gets whenever he outruns me. You know, whatever.
Yeah, you know, I didn't expect that either when I saw him outrun you a couple weeks ago.
No.
But like,
No, because I don't hate Doc. You know,
you don't like him though. You said
not really.
Okay.
No, it's one of those take it or leave it.
I don't even want to ask if he likes me.
I can respect Doc in certain lights. You know, like
Yes.
I can respect the fact that he will street race.
For sure.
I can respect that.
He's down ass for sure.
You know, I can respect that. He just what's hard to respect about the guy is that even when in the number one spot, he doesn't assume the number one spot. You know what I mean? Like he's still so worried about losing
Yes.
that he wants to go out of his way to try and, you know, wait around or get more rubber on the road or wait and see somebody else go down the road first. You know what I mean? It's like you know, just like when we race out of towners, you know, the number one guy, I mean, we you know, the number one guy should be like, I want the fastest y'all got, period. I don't care
that
who
would
it is.
never happen with him.
No, it didn't happen. We just did that. It didn't happen. Like, I mean, the number one guy should be our first line of defense against everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He should be the biggest badass we got. The
Not
first
scared
one
to go first down the road.
not scared
None of that.
not scared to do anything.
That's the way it
It's
used
the
to be.
number one.
Number
You know what I
one
mean?
used to go first down the road.
Yeah, but then they started messing with us on the TV show deal, so we were like, fuck it then. You know, there's no point in going first down the road every time if they're going to screw us over somehow.
But
you
I
know what
like
mean?
to go first down the road.
But that was, you know, they haven't been screwing us over lately. You know what I mean? The road's been the same every week, you know? So, like, at one time they were cleaning the road or we'd change roads or go to a shitty road or go to a good road. And it was like everything was, you know, thrown about. And then they always show the number one versus two race at the end of the night.
Yes.
Well, if you go first down the road and you smoke the tires, but then the road gets better, well, then they show everybody else hanging the wheels out. And then by the end of the episode, you're smoking the tires, you know? So
Yep.
sometimes it just gets to the point where you're like, hey, man, if y'all are going to do that, I'm just going to sit this deal out. But with Doc, you know, a lot of the times he's not in a hurry to do anything cool. You know what I mean? He would rather sit around and wait for everybody else to do the shit, and then he'll come in and you know, try and bunt. You know what I mean?
I think he's so concerned with that no respect thing. Like he's so wrapped up in that element of it that like it fucks him up. Like Doc used to be like the guy. Like used to, we'd roll over to Climate Masters. He'd unload that big bitch out and just right
he
down
used
the road.
to not care. He used to not. Well, I mean, even back then he was a little weird. You know, I remember when him and Derek were racing and there was some mud in the road and he freaked out and didn't want to race. And Derek raced in that lane, stuff like that. Like,
Right through the
you
mud.
know, Doc just doesn't let his ego shine. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
he's so worried about getting on. Like at the end of the day, he's so worried about the fact that he didn't strike out. He's so worried about being able to say he got on base that he'll never hit that home run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got guys that are swinging for the fence every time, and if they strike out, oh well. But most of the time, they may hit a home run, right? He wants to be the guy who gets on base every time. You know?
Sean's a guy that might be 5 and number one the same night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not afraid to strike out.
Yeah.
So
No.
I'll just-
Because eventually
I'll
you'll
keep
hit
on-
it. You
'cause
just keep
eventually I'm
swinging.
going to hit that motherfucker a long way.
Tear the hide off of it. He'll just keep swinging until
Yeah,
it
I'll
connects.
keep on swinging until I get a hold of one, and it's going to go a long fucking ways when I do.
Yeah, there's no
So-
doubt, you know, and so it's frustrating when the number one guy on the list is worried about his average. You know what I mean? He's worried about his average. You know, to me, the number one guy should be, even if you're racing someone slow, even if you're racing someone whose car is hurt, even if you're racing someone on a shitty road, your plan should never be to just barely win or go A to B or whatever. Like you should be out there trying to show why you're number one every time. You're number one. What's the point of being number one if you don't get to, you know, revel in it a little bit?
Hell,
You
I
know what
told
mean?
a couple people that this weekend. Y'all finna see fucking how we do it. You know, I was the first one down the fucking road. Watch this.
Yeah.
I told somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, fuck that. Hell yeah, I'm going first.
And at
Watch
risk,
this shit.
but you're at risk of looking stupid.
Well, hey, I look stupid a lot in my life.
Right. But you know, but you'll never, the thing is, if you're worried about looking stupid or you're worried about slipping and falling on your face, you're never going to actually get any amount of greatness because you're only going to do what you got to, right? Doc's only going to do what he's got to do to be number one. He's only going to do what he's got to do to win a race here and there and against out of town. You know what I mean? He's never going to be the guy who, when we race out of town, is going to say, I want the biggest, because honestly, you know, like when we raced out of town this weekend, and we're not allowed to talk much about it because it hasn't aired yet, but I'm sitting there waiting on, and I'm asking these guys 100 times, who's your fastest guy? Do you have a list to know who your fastest is? How do you know who your fastest is? Because I'm wanting Doc to stand up and go, I'm the fastest we got. I want to race the fastest y'all got. You know what I mean? I'm the man. So who's your man? You know what I mean? Or whoever's number one at the time should be the guy jumping up and down going, I'm racing the fastest, baddest mother effer you got, period. Because I'm number one. I'm the baddest. Think about it. Well,
that should have been me then.
If that, if you're number one, then you should be standing up for that. You know what I mean? That's where the number one thing comes into light, because you're supposed to be the baddest we got. You need to be racing the baddest they got, because it's really going to suck if everything gets switched around and the number one, the fastest guy they got, if he wants to race our fastest guy, but he's already locked into a race with their number 5 or 6 guy, it just kind of doesn't work out for me. What's the point of having a list if we don't get to show off who our fastest guy is? And we should all be behind that. You know what I mean? So it's tough, man. It really sucks, because
we're also in a fucked up situation right now, man, because we know who our fastest guy is, and he just doesn't happen to be number one.
Who's that, Daddy Dave?
Hey, that motherfucker
Just kidding.
checked out the other night.
He did run
Daddy
good.
Dave's car is
That
coming.
motherfucker's fast.
Dave's car's fast.
But I
didn't
and that's
see
the first time I've ever said that about his car.
Hey, and I'll give it to Dave. He normally, I remember, back in the day with the Sonoma, he was a little reluctant to race the super fast guys. You know what I mean? And but that started changing when he got his own car, I think, because he was down. He told me before the drivers meeting, he said, "Who do you want to race?" I said, "You know who I want to race, motherfucker. I want to race the fastest bitch they got for the most amount of money they can come up with." And he was like, "Well, that's what I want to do too." And I said, "Well, who do you think it is?" I said, "Because in my opinion, it's either going to be this guy or this guy."
Yeah, the two guys that y'all raced.
And Dave said, "Which one do you want?" And I said, "I don't care." He said, "I think that this guy wants to race you pretty bad, and I think
we all knew that he wanted to race
I think
you.
that that's the whole reason for him being here." And I said, "All right, cool. I'll take him. You take the other guy." He said, "Okay." I said, "Now, but if we do this, you got to step up when that other guy says something, because I don't want that other guy jumping on Jeremy or Shane or somebody like that. You know what I mean? We got to get those two guys knocked out."
Well,
and Dave stepped up and he raced, in my opinion, one of the most dangerous looking cars those guys had. You know what I mean? So I can't tell you if he won or lost, but I can tell you that that's the way it should be.
I can tell you they were both fast.
Monza's car, ridiculous fast,
man,
insane
it looked
fast.
Good. It looked good.
And the same thing, he's not going to stand up and jump at the fast guys. He's going to wait on a small tire car or some,
I might have fucked that up, guys. I gave him a little bit of help.
Yeah, hey, dude, his car looked insane fast Saturday night.
When we went to the track, I was like, wow.
It looked really, really good.
That's what, when we and him talked, I said, dude, as soon as you walk in that meeting, ask for the fastest guy they got. Because I felt his car was probably, if not the fastest, one of the fastest cars there that night on our team.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I've never seen it run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my problem. My problem is it doesn't matter what number I am. It doesn't matter if I'm on the list, off the list. It doesn't matter what kind of problems I'm having. It doesn't matter if my car's having problems or not. I'm never going to want their slower guy or small tire. I'm always going to want the fastest bitch they got. Now, I should have been arguing with Shawn and Doc and Monza on getting to race that guy. We should have been talking about this beforehand, going, "Hey, I know we all want to race that same guy, but let's figure this out together." But instead, there was no issue there. It was, "Oh, Chief wants to race the fastest guy they got. Cool, man. Right on. Have at it." So I don't know. That's kind of my thing with Doc, is everybody thinks that I'm just bullying on Doc or whatever. But man, I want him to assume the position of number one. You know what I mean? Like when he took that number one spot, I want him to take all of it. You know what I mean? You get that crown because you're a Banny Rooster. When you walk out there, you're the baddest bitch there, and you know it, and you know your car's the bad motherfucker. And so I want him to assume that, because when we race out of town and we represent ourselves against other people, like, the number one thing should be huge. You know what I mean? It should be a big deal. So, I want him to assume that position. Well, whenever the road got oiled down, all of a sudden everybody changed. You know what I mean? In that episode last night, like, the road got oiled down and everybody's plan went to shit.
Not mine.
And no,
I was woo.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah. So
we are
you're
the first race now.
because you were scheduled to race third, right? Yes. So you're scheduled. You guys had agreed. They didn't really show this in the episode, but we had argued about negotiations on who's racing who and when. We finally get it figured out when everybody's racing, and you were going to be the third pair down the road.
Well, yeah, because I had to race whenever Doc was comfortable racing.
Right, because Doc was number one,
mm-hmm.
and you called him out,
mm-hmm.
So he wasn't comfortable racing first or second. He wanted to race third. He
Yes.
wanted to race third. He
Well,
picked third.
he didn't want to race third. That was the earliest that he would race. So
Right.
I said, okay, third.
So he was okay with racing third. Well, then the road gets messed up. Okay, so they didn't show this, but Dominator and Jeremy went first, and then Go told the road down.
Mm-hmm.
So you were up next.
Mm-hmm. We were the
Right.
next race, which
And-
puts us may as well been first.
Right, so you're up. After the road's oiled down, it's you and Doc.
Mm-hmm.
So then, and it's already decided. Now, we can't fuck everybody else over because they've already decided when they're going.
Exactly.
So it's like if Dave and Monza are going fourth, you guys are going third. It's like
We
I
can't
can't
say,
say,
well,
well,
yeah.
Doc doesn't want to go down the road just yet. He wants to make sure the road's okay. So you guys got to go next.
Exactly.
That's not how we do this,
You
you know.
can't.
So I was already livid, pissed off because I spent 2 hours with a broken back on my hands and knees cleaning that fucking road so that we could race on it. You know what I mean? When Pilgrim Studios, it cares more about cleaning the road than my own racers. That hurt, you know what I mean? And then I hear Doc and those guys saying, and the behind me as I'm leaning down cleaning this damn road, I hear, and I've been up for 3 days with no sleep, and I hear Doc saying they can clean that road all they want. They're never going to fix that road. We're not going to have to race on it. I'm not even worried about it. I'm not racing. Monza's saying the same thing, and I'm like, dude, if I clean this road for 2 hours so that I can race, because my goal here is to race. I come all the way out here with my car. I'm here to race.
Yeah, we got the road.
You know what I mean? We have a road. Let's race. Let's race on it. So I was so frustrated that those guys wouldn't help me clean the road that whenever I said, okay, the road's clean enough, I feel like to race on it. I'm going to go find out what the decision is. Now, if Doc would have said, I'm not comfortable racing on this road, I'm not going to race, and just left it at that,
then yes, that is his decision.
I would have been cool. And I said at the first of that second drivers meeting there, I said, now listen, you guys have to make a decision on what you're going to do. Are you going to race on it or not? You know, if Doc would have said, I'm not comfortable racing on it, I'm not racing on it, Shawn can have the spot if he wants to, cool. I would have not even said another word to him, and I would have moved on.
Yep.
But instead, Doc says that he wants to let some other people go first, and he wants to see if the road comes around, and he wants to see what's going to happen. Okay, you're not afforded that luxury here.
No, because you are the next race in line.
You're the next race in line. And you're supposed to be number one. You're supposed to be number one on our list, and you're going to tell me, look, guys, I'm not going to race yet. I'm going to let some of you other guys race first, make sure the road. I'm going to see if you guys crash. If you guys don't crash, then I might go, you know. No,
then
no.
I might go.
No, fuck that. We're not doing that. Are you racing or not? And he kept saying, well,
not yet.
Not yet. Okay, are you done? I guess. What do you mean you guess? He's trying to leave it to where he's open. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But then what's fucked up is that he says all that shit, and I get mad because he won't just say, no, I'm a pussy, I'm not going to race on it. Or, no, I don't feel comfortable, I'm not going to race on it.
My
or
car's,
whatever.
If he would have just said, look, my car's brand new, I got limited passes on it, I don't feel comfortable taking it down this road. You just said, okay, who's the next race?
Exactly.
And that would have been it.
Exactly.
He could have sat there
But no,
all
he
night.
kept saying, "Oh, I guess," or well, not with this, just this race,
Yes.
this race." No,
Yes.
no, because he gets that. He could do that anyway. After you get the spot from him, and we race the rest of the night,
He could have called me back out.
He could have called you back out, or somebody could have called him back out.
Yes.
But instead, this dude sits back there by his trailer, and even after people are racing down the road and making passes and going fast,
and everything's been fine.
and everything's been fine after we clean that fucking road, even after all that,
still-
he still wouldn't race. He still didn't go call nobody out. He still didn't.
That did baffle me because there were some hot passes made
Yeah,
right
dude.
before him.
But why would you give it up?
And then he gave up
My
the race
whole-
to Dave on him. I was like,
Yes.
man, I
That's
would
what
at
I'm
least took
saying.
that.
He could have at least did the 7-day deal on that.
Yeah,
or
or-
we'd have shit on him for doing
Yeah.
that. But
Well, hey,
he just nope, take it. You
No.
take it and sit at the back of
the
his fucking
thing that
truck
I don't
like a little
understand,
baby.
the thing I don't understand is why would you lose the race from your trailer? You know what I mean?
He lost 2 from his.
Why would you lose any race from your trailer? Look, go to the coin flip. Flip the coin, see which lane you get. Okay, there's a 50-50 chance you're going to get a good lane, right?
And
A.
Monza got the good
And
lane.
then, and then B, go to the starting line with your car. You have a right foot. Once you let go of that trans brake button, there's nothing that says you can't abort the run. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
you don't have to. You're not committed to the finish line at this point.
No.
Like, it's all you.
Well,
There's a throttle that you
he
can
had
move.
the 50-50 chance of me getting the fucked up lane.
Right,
And then just see if I jump or
Go to the
see-
starting
yeah,
line, do
anything.
a burnout, see how it feels after the burnout. You know what I mean? Back up, get in your marks, go to the starting line, put on the trans brake, let go of the brake. Hey, see what happens. Tell yourself, I'm not comfortable with this, so if it makes even the slightest move, I'm letting off and I'm staying out of it. You can do that. Like, I'm confident enough in Doc's driving. I've seen him drive enough that he knows when the car's too far gone. You know what I mean? He's pushed that car hard. I've seen it completely sideways before. Why would you lose from the trailer? Why would you lose before you even go to the coin flip and give up your spot? That's what pissed me off the most. He's supposed to be number one. He's supposed to be our baddest racer we got, and he's going to give up the spot from the trailer. You know what I mean?
I've seen him race on way worse too.
Oh, dude,
what's bad?
And
that's the thing about Doc, man. Is that guy? We've been out of town with Doc. Other out of towners have been here with Doc. Before the show came, and you never even had to ask him, Doc, which guy are you racing? And I don't care.
Yeah.
And he would race fucking way shittier roads.
That's what I'm saying. Without the TV cameras, I don't feel like there would have been any issue there. But because of the TV cameras, Doc is so worried about how he looks on TV and that he gets on base that he's not himself.
He would be the old Doc. He'd be way cooler.
No, that Doc's still there.
More people would like him.
That Doc is still
He'd
there.
be cooler. Everything.
If Doc races out of towners or Doc races over here on the service road or behind the bar over there on Eastern, Doc is the same guy he's always been. But when you get the TV cameras out and he's racing you or me, mainly you, when he's racing you, everything changes. He's not the same. He's so like uptight and worried about looking like an idiot or fucking up or losing or whatever to you that everything changes. And that's what wears me out. When you're number one, you can't be that way. When you're number one, you're unfazable. You should be unfazed by anything and anybody on that list. You know what I mean? That's the way it should be. And that's why Shawn is such a great number one. You know what I mean? Because Shawn has proven over and over again, he'll go down any road, he'll go first, he'll go last, he doesn't care, he'll go in the shit, he'll go in the good stuff, he'll put oil down and then race in it. Like, Shawn doesn't care. Now, granted, if Shawn crashed, it'd probably be a good idea for him.
Yeah, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing.
But just if you understand like the safety section of it, Shawn's car is not safe enough to keep him alive. So for him to do what he does in that race car it shows that he is the quintessential number one. He is what we look for in a number one. You know what I mean? And I believe that Dave has that too. You know what I mean? Now, when he was in the Sonoma and everything was, all the tension between me and him and you was really weird, he got to a point there for a little while too where he was the same. He didn't want to go down a shit road. He didn't want to race us on a shit road because he knew that he hadn't tested on shit roads as much as we did, and he didn't want to race us on a bad road. He didn't want to race us in a bad lane.
It was the last season of the fucking last episode of the season, and he was like, "No, I'm not fucking racing. If I don't race, I go out number one right now." You know, he even fucking said that, and I was like, "Are you shitting me?"
That's not Dave, though. You know what I mean? Like, but at that time, there had been so much hype and so much energy and so much hatred between all of us and our crews and everybody else that he was really more worried about looking bad than he was about being number one, right? And that affected him. Now, I believe that that's changed a little bit because I've seen it when he's driving Plan B, and I've seen it in his own car. You know what I mean? Now, we'll see what happens when he's faced with a weird situation in his own car where he has to go down that lane in his own car. You know what I mean? I think that'll change. You know, that could change it, but it may not. But I know that here lately, Dave he's ready to race even if the road's fucked up. You know, he's ready to go, and he'll stand up and do some number one shit every once in a while. So Dave has that. You have that. I know that when I was number one, I never
even
shied
when you're
down.
not number one.
Yeah, that's what
you're
sucks.
Still number one in
that's
your
what
head.
sucks in my
You don't know that you're number whatever.
No,
whatever
Dave
you
had to
are right
remind
now.
me in the driver's meeting last weekend that I was number 9.
Yeah.
They were like, I was like, I want to race the fattest, baddest motherfucker you got for the most amount of money. And they were like, well, we do too. So that's why we're racing you. And Dave's like, hey, he's number 9 or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, well,
yeah,
you know.
but like I said, man, we both knew that you was going to be, you know, everybody knew that you was going to be racing that car. He wanted to race you. You being number 9, you're still our fastest car. You know, you just.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you know, I think that there's me, Monza, you. I mean, there's a lot of fast cars. You know what I mean? Doc, Dave. I mean, look, the point of this list is that at the end of the whole deal, is that the top 5 be within a car length of each other, right? Anyone could win at any given time.
It's pretty goddamn close.
That's where we're
coming
getting
in at number 5.
You know what I mean? So I think that we're on our way. We're doing good stuff, but people don't understand that when I was mad at Doc, I'm not mad at Doc because he's racing Shawn. I'm not mad at Doc because, because
you don't like the guy.
No, because I don't like him. I'm not mad at him because, all of that. I'm mad at him because I want him to stand up and assume the position of number 1.
Because we've seen it.
He wouldn't do it.
Because we've seen it.
Yeah.
We know he's got it in him.
Yep. I mean, he'll, so it kind of wears me out a little bit that he won't stand up and be who he is, because of the TV cameras or because of his drama with you. That wears me out. But, but people are hating on me online because they don't like the way I bullied on Doc, and I don't really care. Whatever, you know what I mean? This is my street race, and if if you guys don't want to be a part of it, don't be a part of it. I don't care. If Doc doesn't want to be a part of my street race, then he can go on. You know what I mean? Like, we all built this together, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to do anything. You guys have raced with me long enough that I'm not going to put you in an unsafe position. If that road wasn't safe, I'd tell you, don't race on it. It's not safe. You know what I mean? I promise.
And you know what I'd say?
No one's ever went to jail under my watch, and no one ever got hurt.
Noted.
Yeah, no one ever got hurt on my watch. No one's ever went to jail. Like we've been really fortunate.
I still feel like you said, I have a foot. If the car gets too fucking squirrely, you lift.
Yeah.
That's it doesn't matter how shitty the road is. I know how shitty the car's getting, and I know when to lift.
I can't believe that he lost 2 races from the trailer.
No, it's
I
really disappointing.
really can't believe that once a few of those passes were made, and
he didn't
come back and say, "I'm calling you out," or
Yep.
I'll race Dave. You know what I mean? Like, he just literally
and I'd have raced him.
sat there and waited till the end of the night and did nothing but sulk at the back of his trailer because everybody was mad at him. It's like, dude, it's really simple. You just walk up and race.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, if he would have walked up there and told you, "Look, man, hey, I fucked up, man. I want to race."
Well, and that's the thing. That was his plan anyway.
Boom.
His plan was to let other people go down the road and see what it comes around, right?
Yep, and it did.
He could have done that without being that way. He could have said, "I'm not comfortable going down it." You know what I mean? I'm not racing. Shawn, you can have the spot. We would have moved on, and then later on in the night, he could have said, "Hey, I'm calling you out." Or when Dave called him out, he could have took that call out. But instead, he just sat back there and sulked at his trailer until it was time to go. That to me is not a number 1 car or guy. That's not a number 1 attitude. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a brand new car, a brand new chassis, whatever. It could have been awesome, but, and then people are like, "Well, it was a brand new car, man. It's scary, brand new car." Yeah, I know. I had my brand new car out there too. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, but you had tested your brand new car like you're supposed to do.
I made one hit on the street. Yeah,
3
sure.
days prior.
But yeah, 2 days prior to that, yeah. But I got the shitty lane. You know what I mean? I went down it. I raced down it, and I would have raced if all you guys would have said no and I was up first, I'd have raced farm truck right then and there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I wanted to race. That's why I cleaned the damn road. I wouldn't have cleaned the road if I didn't want to race. I'd have been like, "Hey, I don't want to race here. The road sucks. Hey guys, road's done. Let's go home."
Yep.
No.
But hey, in all reality, the road was fucked. You wanted to race so bad that you made it happen.
Well, yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. So
the number 1 guy, he should have been wanting to race so bad that he should have been making it happen.
Yes.
I'm out there with my crew, McDoogle,
Hell, even my wife was
Juice.
cleaning it
Yeah,
up.
your
Fucking
wife,
Juice
Juice
was
was
out
cleaning
there
it.
fucking
Hell,
cleaning his ass
Jen,
off.
the producer, was cleaning it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
We had everybody on board.
I had high school guys that don't even care about racing that were there with me just to watch. Jeremy Brown.
Yeah, Jeremy, he's out there with that
Jeremy
fucking
Brown,
torch and shit.
Jeremy Brown doesn't give a shit about racing. He doesn't even have a race car. He's just out there to hang out and have a good time, and he's cleaning the road. And when Jeremy Brown and Juice are cleaning the road and Doc and Monza are laughing about it, like, that's pretty frustrating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty frustrating. Because at the end of that night, I was in fucking serious pain. Like, bent over that road for 2 hours, dude, it hurt. God, it hurt. And Goad, everybody's bitching about Goad not helping clean the road either. He left.
He packed his shit up and
As
left.
soon as that car, he put it on a trailer, he rolled out.
What a fucking faggot.
Oh, my God. That's not really what I was saying. I was saying that he wasn't there to clean
I was
the road.
so hot about
There it
that.
is.
I wasn't there to clean. I was just saying that he wasn't there to clean the road. I see what you're saying, though. It's a little different than what I was saying.
I
What
was
are you
so
saying?
hot. I was like sitting there. I was like,
What do you think?
here we are cleaning the road. And Goad's like, "Hey, guys, can y'all move out of the way so I can go home?"
Yep.
I literally wanted to flatten his fucking tire. He literally drove by me and said, "Oh, it wouldn't be smart to stand in front of me while I got a truck." I was like, man, I'd like to drag you out of that fucking truck. You did this.
Yeah. No, he did. He
And he just jetted, took off, went home 11 o'clock at night. Oh, we were there till 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was bad.
I didn't know he left.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
no,
packed
he
his
left.
shit up and
He
grabbed
was-
his trailer
when we
and
were
drove
cleaning
right
the
over
road-
where we were cleaning up.
When we were cleaning the road, he left.
Well,
Now
Doc
he did.
ended up leaving too, right?
No, he couldn't because remember he didn't want to leave until we figured everything out. Well, by that
No,
time,
no, no. I mean, he ended up leaving before the night was over,
no,
though.
he couldn't.
Oh, really?
No, Doc hung out.
No, he couldn't. They couldn't leave because once we started racing, we
would-
weren't
yeah,
letting nobody else go down the road because I was like, dude, at this point in time, I don't care who it is. Nobody's going down this road
he
but
asked
racers.
or something.
No, he tried to leave. He tried to leave, and they wouldn't let him. So he had to sit there and watch and sulk in his truck.
I'd feel so bad about doing that. I would have stayed if I was Goat, but I'm not Goat.
Yeah, I don't
I'm a
know. I
man.
don't know what Goat's situation was. You know, I don't know why he left or whatever. But I know that he wasn't there to clean the road. So whatever. You know, if he was in a hurry to go home and fix the car or whatever, I don't know. But he left. He wasn't there to clean the road. We cleaned the road.
That was months
Farm
ago, and
Truck,
that bitch
Farm
still
Truck
ain't
helped
fixed.
clean the road. Farm Truck and Asian helped clean the road. You know, like Farm Truck has to race, and so he's cleaning the road. Farm Truck had to race me. I mean, if I was Farm Truck, I don't even know if I'd be cleaning the road because I'd be like,
I'd be walking around
you
putting
know.
oil on it.
yeah,
I'd be moving the oil from here to over here.
you know, and
Like, no, this road's terrible.
Yeah.
But no, Farm Truck's out there cleaning the road because he knows that he wants to race on it too. You know what I mean? So, and he's got an opportunity here to you know, to shine because his truck was hauling ass and he was racing
man,
me.
he was
It
fast
was.
right
He made
now,
a good
You
pass,
know?
too.
I mean, dude, think about it. If I would have fucked up or gotten that oil the wrong way or not cleaned the road good enough, he would have beat me. You know
That's
what
what I
mean?
love most about his truck right now is it can literally beat people.
It can. It
Like,
can beat
if you
people.
fuck up one time, one pedal, knock tires off on the head, you're not going to beat him.
Yeah, he's fast enough that you better watch it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
It's not a joke anymore. You better just go ahead and race him.
Yep. He gets any faster and he'll be dangerous. So I don't know. That was my thing with Doc. Everybody can assume whatever position they want on this deal and say I'm a bully or whatever. But let me remind you guys that this isn't, you know, this isn't what we do for fun. This isn't what we do on the weekend. This isn't golf to us. You know what I mean? This isn't horseshoes, drinking beer, you know. This is our religion. This is our life. This is our everything. And I'm so passionate about what we've built here and what we've created that if I feel like you're not assuming the position and you don't understand how important you are to this, then I'm going to get pissed off. And I'm going to fucking tell you, I'm going to call you a dumb fuck and shit like that because I want you to stand up and be who you are. And you know what I mean? And I know Doc, and if I knew for a fact that Doc wasn't like that, if I knew that Doc just didn't have it in him, I wouldn't even be worried about it. But I've seen Doc be the hard ass.
Yes.
You know, I've seen Doc put his shit down
and
shitty
nowadays,
roads.
the only time he's a hard ass is after the fact.
Exactly.
You know what I
Doc's
mean?
one of the only guys since the show started that's actually raced next to somebody for no reason other than just a race.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, I've seen him out a few different spots here in the city.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no,
Racing
I,
people.
watched,
No,
I watched him race.
He's a real racer.
by the
Yeah.
bar, and I watched him race at BNR. You know what I mean? Now, it's hard to even in those situations. It's hard to get Doc to go first. It's hard to get Doc to come off the trailer and just head up with somebody right out of the gate if there's cameras around. But if there's not cameras around,
Yeah.
Doc's a badass. It's like it's the total opposite of the way it should be. It should be when the cameras are on, you're a badass. You know,
I think he's
but
afraid to like lose on the camera.
that's what I'm saying. He's so worried about striking out in front of the whole world that he'll never hit a home run. You know what I mean? If he wins, it's going to be because somebody else fucked up or because, you know, but he's going to wait till the end of the night when there's plenty of rubber down. It's like, dude, did you see in the episode? Like, he starts talking about how much rubber is down. They do a wide out shot. Dude, there's a lot of
That's
rubber
a lot.
down.
That's a
guys.
rubber road.
That was some serious rubber. And you know, if he would have raced first, like Shawn wanted to, he wouldn't have had to deal with the training fluid in the lane.
Nope. And then he could have walked around the rest of the night, been going, "Yep,
Yeah. He could have been looking
Good
at everybody else
thing I
going,
got my race
yeah,
done."
so what are you guys going to do?
yeah."
What are you guys going to do?
Shawn
you know?
even said that. He's like, I want to race first in case something happens.
Yep.
You know, I want to get this out of the way before something happens.
Exactly. And then you got guys, and then so the road gets oiled down, and now Doc's faced with what are you going to do? You know, he could have went first and just been over with and got it done. But that's part of that not wanting to, you know, that's when you see kids in baseball that don't swing as hard as they can because they're afraid everybody's going to make fun of them for missing. You know what I mean? They don't want to miss, you know? Well, there's guys the guys that are successful in life, that are truly successful, are the ones who swing as hard as they can every time, no matter what. Even if it's not the right idea, just swing as hard as you can. Hopefully you hit something. Hopefully you get it connected. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Look at Babe Ruth. Guy couldn't even run to the bases.
He just smashed home
Guy
runs.
couldn't even make the 90 foot.
Well, and he had more strikeouts than almost anybody.
Oh yeah, but nobody talks about his strikeouts.
No.
How many strikeouts did he have?
a lot.
But, I mean-
but I don't know.
I have
Yeah,
no
you don't
idea.
know, right?
No, I don't know.
Everybody knows he had.
He was the
had-
home run king.
Everybody-
more than he had home runs.
Well, yeah, but who cares? He's a home run hitter.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just like the Murder Nova. You know, Murder Nova's when it wins number one.
Yeah.
You know, and it does it in great fashion. You know,
Yep.
It'll go and not make a pass all week trying to test, and
Yeah.
then go out there and be number one.
so we have not cataloged how many shitty runs the Murder Nova's had, but it's way more than good runs.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But its good runs mean something.
He's so used to shitty runs, even on good ones, he pedals it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's routine.
Just waiting on it to be shitty, waiting on some
So-
tires shake.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm over the Doc thing, whatever. We'll see. And to be honest with you, you know, after all that, the studio, you know, the production company, and you know, they come to me and they're like, "What are we going to do about this?" You know, like, how are we going to fix this? Because you know, Doc's going to quit. You know, Doc and Monza are going to quit, and this and that, and they were mad at me. And I said, "Great, now you've pissed them off, and they're going to quit." And I'm like, "They're not going to quit." And they're like, "Yeah, they are." I'm like, "No, they're not." I was like, "There's a lot of Doc may be a few things, and I may have said a few things, but Doc ain't gonna quit. There ain't no way. Monza ain't gonna quit. Are you crazy?" They're like, "Yeah, no, they're gonna quit." Even Dave was like, "Guaranteed they quit." I was like, "No, they didn't." He goes, "I just talked to them. They said they quit." I was like, "Dave, I don't care."
Did you ever
if
get that money from him?
Yeah. No, come on now, it's Dave.
No,
I
Dave
thought
went,
y'all locked in a bet on
Yeah,
them
we locked
quitting.
in a bet, $50. We locked in $50 bet on that they were quitting. I said, "Dave, I don't care if you get their paperwork. I don't care if they signed and turned in their paperwork, say they quit. They ain't quitting." He's like, "Well, let's make a bet." I said, "I bet you money that the next list race, they'll be here." He's like,
damn
"No
sure
way."
were.
And they damn sure were, weren't they? They ain't no quitters.
and ain't never heard nothing about it again either.
No, hell no, we ain't never heard nothing about it. So
Yeah,
the
because
thing
Dave
is,
don't want to pay.
but that's why we don't let the production company run shit. That's why we don't let the studios and the network make the rules.
Right.
We govern ourselves. You know what I mean? They're like, "What are we going to do about this?" And what do you mean, what are we going to do about it? I took care of it. I handled it. There's no issue. We got that out of the way. Now they know that if they don't race, there's idiots like Jeremy and Shawn and Dave that's going to race behind them. When they leave, they're going to listen. They're going to have to hear these guys going down the road taking their spots. This is not going to happen again. Period. You have to set precedents that there are guys who will race. Period. If you don't want to race,
time.
then get the fuck out of the way. Well, if we'd have let the production company come in and handle all that, we'd have this problem every time. We don't do that. We govern ourselves.
Right.
So
Yeah,
sometimes you
because
got to
then
yell
no
and
matter what, they'd be like, "Oh, I don't feel safe going down this road."
sometimes you got to yell and scream and push somebody out of the driver's circle. You know, that's just the way it is. I'm sorry.
Sometimes.
It's,
Get out of the circle.
you know,
I'm
sorry.
out.
I'm not going anywhere
For a second.
for a split second. But man, hey, it didn't really show it, but I was the only one who was like, "Don't do it, Chief."
No, don't do it.
Yeah. Hey, and after Pilgrim, after the studio, the production company watched all the tape from that night, they called me. They said they're going to fire Doc. I was like, "What?" They said, "Yeah, he's poison." I said, "What do you mean he's poison? He's getting people. We feel like the reason Monza didn't race is because Doc didn't want to race, and that poisons the group.
Well, I believe
we can't have that kind of poison in this group, so we're just going to get rid of Doc." I said, "Whoa, hang on." They thought I was going to be happy about it. I said, "You can't get rid of my drivers." So what do you mean? I said, "This is my list. This is my street race. Y'all film the fucking shit. You can't get rid of Doc. I get rid of Doc. If I want to get rid of Doc, I get rid of Doc. And guess what? I handled that situation. Doc's okay. I'm okay. Doc will be here, and he's going to race, and he's going to be badass, and his car's going to be fast. You can't fucking fire people behind my back. Like, fuck off. You know what I mean? This isn't how this works.
If they would have just done that without saying anything to you, that would have turned out bad.
Yeah, no, this isn't how. No,
You don't fire fucking racers.
you can't fire somebody off the list. They have to get beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's only one way you leave this list, just for life, essay. You know what I mean? Like, this shit's for life. You're blood in, blood out.
Blood in, blood out.
You can quit or you can crash your car. That's about it. But nobody's
Or
gonna
get too slow to make it
yeah,
anymore.
or just what does he say? What does Clint Eastwood say? Just get old and die. You know, like that's
You could Varley yourself off this.
you
deal.
could barley and you could be doing YouTube videos tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Tech tips.
Tech tips.
Talking about I want to show you guys all my old buddies from back
My
in the
old
day.
buddies that have fast
Yeah.
cars.
That none of us can make the
Jesus.
list. Here's all my buddies that can't make the list with me. You know, we're gonna start our own list. You know, this is
Plus, we're going to give you some advice.
on how to not make
What
the list.
the fuck would
Give you
anybody
some-
take advice from
We're
him
gonna
on?
give you some advice on starting at 11. You know?
We're going to give you some advice on taking a Causey motor and a Fox body and run 550s.
Damn.
But the bottom line is that we still run our shit ourselves. You know what I mean? Hey, and since that day, you know, I'm sure Doc's still fucking pissed off about it. I'm sure he's still salty about it.
Especially after the show.
Especially after watching the
Well,
show.
that just attributes to him not liking us.
You know, but
It
hey,
doesn't, you know,
but
I
dude,
don't think it's any
Doc
worse
ain't
than
never,
anything
Doc ain't
else
never like
fucking
it.
we do.
But Doc will never understand that I fight for him and that I fight for the rules of this list. And when they wanted to fire him, I said no, you know, and that the only reason I was mad at him was because I wanted him to assume the position of king. You know?
Sometimes people act like a bitch and they need to be called out on it.
That's why
You
I
know?
call go down every driver's meeting.
And I mean, hey, you know, I got like that at one point, just a little bit, before you had to say something to me
About being a what?
about not wanting to race and shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there was one
Yeah,
point, I
there
don't
was.
remember which season it was, but hey, man, I did. And when you said something to me, you know, I mean, we're good enough friends that you can fucking say anything to me. And I'm not going to go, oh, well, fuck you and get all mad about it, you know? So it puts it into perspective, you know? And I start thinking about it and I'm like, yeah, he's probably fucking right.
There was a few times. There's a few
You know?
times in our friendship that I've had to, you know, to call you out on stuff, and you've had to call me out on shit. You know what I mean?
Well, that's part of it. I feel
But
like.
we're man enough that we can do that. You know, I remember the first time I raced you on the street. Very first time I raced
I
Shawn
fuck
on the
you up?
street, he acted like a bitch.
Did I fuck you up?
But yeah, right after you acted like a bitch.
But did I fuck you
you
up?
won. But you acted like a real bitch.
I did.
I had to beg the motherfucker
No,
scary ass to race
you
me.
didn't. No, you didn't beg
I had to
nothing.
beg
You
him
said
to-
okay, and I go,
Yeah.
well, where are you going? Okay, we
Yeah,
gotta
no.
tell the whole story.
We pulled into the parking lot, and there's a bunch of guys there racing, and we had our cars. And you know me, I want to race the fastest dude out there, right? Well, Murray Nova's
Well, of
supposed to
course
be
he
the
came
fastest.
to me.
Yeah, Murray Nova's supposed to be the fastest dude out there because
Supposed to be.
he don't race nobody. Because he would never race nobody. He was the fastest, right? So he's standing over there by docking them, I'm sure. Talking about how they're gonna get out. Talking about how they're gonna get out of racing tonight. And I walked over and I was like, "Hey man, you want to go?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "You want to race?" He's like, "Right now?" And I was like, "Yeah, right now." And he was like, "Well, you know, I'd like to see a few cars go down there, you know, you get some rubber down or whatever." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I start walking off. He's like, "Whoa, where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to find somebody to race me." And he was like, "That's fucked up." And I was like,
Yeah,
"What?"
it was fucked up. Hey, but then what did I say?
He said, "All right, fuck it, let's do it."
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, but
Sean's easily peer pressured.
hey, but for a second
because
there,
I start fucking realizing, man, look, first off, I ain't no bitch.
Listen,
So
I'm the same way.
He just made me kind of look. He just called me out. You know what I mean? So
and I wasn't trying to call you out. I was just saying,
no,
like,
but hey, you calling me out like
it
that.
disappointed me that you wouldn't race me. You know what I
hey,
mean?
well, then it disappointed me that you was gonna go find somebody else to race. And I was like, yeah, fuck that. You ain't finding nobody else.
No,
I'm
Shawn
ready.
thought that he was going to say, you know, I'd like to see if you pass to get some rubber down. And I'd go, oh yeah, that's probably a good idea. Let's do that. But I wasn't about that
No.
life.
You got to remember with Chief, his best skills isn't driving, it isn't tuning. His best skills is people manipulation.
Yes.
Oh, come
He's
on.
he's
I ain't
wrangled
never-
me into some shit before, and I leave there
Hey,
thinking,
no matter how good of a tuner, no matter how good of a driver, that's still second in line.
yeah, second line
I
to people
to
manipulation.
fucking talk.
Sometimes he gives me a speech, and I leave thinking, man, he bulldogged me right into that.
I ain't
Yep.
never manipulated nobody in my life.
Yeah, he can get people to do what he wants them to do.
In the time being, you're thinking, yeah, he's right, and then
yeah,
you leave,
yeah,
you're like,
the whole time you're going,
like-
man, he's fucking right.
and then you leave, you're like, fuck, he talked me into that.
Well, Dave got me really good a long time ago. And ever since that time, I've realized that because when I first started street racing, I was the suck. And I got beat a lot, right? But I wanted to race all the time. And I wanted to race a lot. Well, as time goes on, because of racing a lot and because of being down for whatever, I got good at it, right? But then, once you start to get a reputation for being good at something, well, then all of a sudden you have something to lose, right? So then my car was getting faster and faster. I kind of got this thing where people were like, you know, hey, man, your car's fast. And then I was like, oh, yeah, but if I lose, it's not fast, right? So I don't want to lose. So I'm going to do whatever I can not to lose. Instead of doing whatever I can to win, I was doing whatever I could not to lose. And I went to a no prep, very first no prep in Denton, Texas. They had scraped the track and diamond cut it. And there was big, gnarly grooves in it full of dust where they diamond cut it. And it was scary. That track deal was scary.
God, Kelly,
And,
Crazy Kelly wasn't scared.
No, yeah. And we went down to, I think there was 4 or 6 cars left. And it was me, Dave, you?
I didn't have my car there.
No, me, Dave, Doc, Me, Dave, Doc, and somebody else.
Somebody from Texas.
Me? No, it was somebody from Oklahoma because it was just all Oklahoma cars.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because we said we could go home and finish this out.
Who?
Had a Monza.
I don't think it was
Yeah,
Monza. I don't think
Monza had a
Monza.
Monza.
Didn't Monza have a Vega? No, Monza had a
whoever
Monza.
it was still in. It was either Yankee Dave or Monza or somebody. I don't remember. But there was 4 of us. I know it was me, Doc, Dave, and somebody. We were still in. We were still in the money, but everyone crashed that round.
Yes. I know it wasn't student driver.
The guy
He
crashed.
the first round.
Yeah, the guy crashed right behind me. A guy crashed. Every round someone crashed, and I was starting to get nervous because I was like, dude, and dude, I had never been on a road or a track where everything was okay, and then all of a sudden, instantly, it
Yes.
tried to
It
fucking
was
kill
bad.
you. You know what
It
I
was
mean?
bad.
I mean, instantly, like just all of a sudden you're on a pass, and all of a sudden you're headed for the wall, and there was no correcting it. There was no it's just sliding really bad, and there's chalk everywhere, and man, it was terrible,
It was
right?
slick.
Well, and that's what I thought.
Well-
if student driver fucking crashes,
Yeah, because student
he can
student
fucking
driver
drive.
back then student driver was one of the best drivers we'd ever seen. Dave
Yeah.
was one of the best drivers
And there
we'd
was
ever seen.
nothing he could do about that.
And so exactly. And so when I'm sitting in the pits after my win, and I'm thinking, okay, there's only 4 left. We're in the money here. We can do this. And then but I'm also starting to get worried about that. I'm like, dude, that guy crashed right behind me, like literally right behind me. It was weird. Well, then Dave comes over to my pit and he's like, hey man, it's all Oklahoma cars, right? And I was like, yep. And he goes, fuck this scary ass fucking track, man. I ain't trying to crash my shit. And I was like, what? Like Dave said that? What? What's going on? He's like, yeah, fuck that. This is scary, man. I ain't trying to crash my fucking shit. He's like, I'm probably going home. And I was like, well, okay. Well, yeah. What do you want to
yeah,
do?
he even said we could finish this shit.
Yeah, that's what,
fucking
and
at
then
home.
he said we can finish
On
it
the
at
real
home. There's only
streets.
4 cars
And that's
left.
how he got you.
He said there's only 4 cars left. Let's take the money. Let's go back. We'll finish it on the street at home because fuck crashing our cars here against each other. And I was like, man. And I looked out there and dude, people were sliding around and hitting the wall. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably a good idea, man. So I was scared. You know what I mean? And so we went to back to the drivers meeting, and we were like, I think we're just going to take the money and we're going to split it and go back to Oklahoma City and race it off. Well, as soon as we all agreed to that and the money didn't happen and we were bloating up, then Dave starts laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing at? He goes, fucking Sonoma's hurt. And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
He couldn't even run it again.
I was like,
It was so hurt.
I was like, you dickhead. You preyed on my fucking fear of this fucking track. He saw that I was scared, and he come over and he used that manipulation against me to make it to where he didn't lose, right? And we all 4 was left and we got the money, right? Well, that's when I decided right then and there that, okay, all right, if I'm going to be
Never
a part of this
splitting.
shit, if I'm going to do this shit anymore and I'm going to be in this and say that I'm good at it, then I need to concern myself more about winning than I am about losing. You know what I mean? So ever since then, it's been, I want to win. I want to win. I want to win. And I can never think about, I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose. I want to think about only win, so it's made a big difference in the way that I race and the way that I assume the position of confidence. And when I am number 1, I assume number 1. And Shawn, because before Shawn bitched out racing me out there at Climate Masters, Shawn was never like that. You know what I mean? But Shawn had gotten this reputation for being unbeatable. And so he was a little, he may have been a little worried that that the old Pontiac was going to crack his nuts out there,
Actually, I never worried about that. But you actually had told me since the show has been here, I started acting like that.
You did. Once the show got started and you started to get like that again.
You had a talk with me, and I can't even really remember now, but I remember you said something to me, and I was like, no, man, hey, you're right, and I sat there, and I was like, at first I was like, man, what the fuck, and then I started thinking about it. It's one of those deals that you lay in bed at night and you think about it.
I know you lay in bed at night and think about me.
Yeah.
You're not the only one.
Yeah. So, and it was right.
But no, there was a time where you had been worried whenever I was coming up the list, you were so worried about coming down the list that you were ready to, do whatever you could to hang on to your spot or play the game.
I know that I don't want to be that fucking guy who's just trying to hold on.
No,
to
and
spot.
once I pointed it out to you, you didn't see it right away. But
No,
once
I
I
didn't.
pointed it out to you, you were like, "Oh, well, fuck that then." Yeah, I can't believe I'm doing that. And
Yeah.
and you changed your whole game up. And ever since then,
Well,
been,
like fucking
and you've been
that
back
night
at the
that
top.
I fucking raced you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
You weren't going to do that
I
either,
lost
you
fucking
bitch.
four fucking races that fucking night, you know? And then it was like, yeah, fuck it.
It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, 30 degrees, and even I was like, "Hey, Sean, you know,
No,
like,
y'all
we
weren't-
don't have to do. We don't have to do this."
Yeah,
You
but if
guys-
y'all was going to call me out,
But-
then I was going to race.
Well, but they were just wanting to call you out for the next deal, and they even said
Bullshit.
so. And then
it's
what?
fucking bullshit.
What?
No, they even came over to me and said the car was never going to list race again. As soon as this episode's over, we're pulling the car off the fucking list.
We
I
just
said,
want the
so,
chance to
so
be
why
number
would
one.
you call
Yeah.
me out then?
So that they didn't
I
get
was
called
number
out from below.
3.
I was tricky dicking
Doc
y'all.
and Monza was fucking, their cars were already put up. They
Well, yeah, 'cause
weren't
they only
going to
raced
fucking
once a
race.
night.
So
But-
I said, so if you're not going to race any more on this list, why even call me out if we're not going to race tonight?
Because they wanted the effect of we would have been number one if they would have let us.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to be the guy not to let them.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we were number 4.
Yeah, but you wanted to be number one, and you would have been if they would have let you. But they
Right,
walked you up the list.
Yep.
They didn't let you. That's what
Well,
you wanted.
We would have went higher, but Sean wouldn't race us that night.
Exactly. So
I wasn't having that.
So so whenever they called you out, or they were going to call you out, and Kentucky's like, I'm
just
sitting
put
in
it
my
up. I
truck.
know,
I had
I
a
know.
broken back, sitting in my truck, with the heater on. It was me and Monkey, and I'm like, what's the deal? And Monkey's like, I think they're going to put it up. I was like, why? I was like, they think the motor's hurt. And I was like, so what? I'm like, it's the last race of the season. And then they're like, then Kentucky's like,
Kentucky's over there just telling me.
he's like,
let's
fuck
put it
this.
up.
Let's just put it up. Fuck this shit, man. We done raced 3 times tonight. We're doing whatever the fuck they want us to do
And it was
tonight.
a
Fuck this. We'll
cold,
put it up and
cold son
we'll
of a
kick
bitch.
their ass. And it's too cold.
Yeah.
Fuck all this. And
Yeah.
I sat in the truck and I'm like, I read the text message because he texted it in the group. And I was like, bullshit. I was like, what are you, stupid? What's the difference? Literally, guys, like,
And look
what's
what happened.
the difference
That's what he
between
said. He
3
said,
and
"What's the
4?"
difference between 3 and 4?" You know, and so I mean, you didn't have to talk me into it.
No. Once
You
I said,
you said, get that fucking car out
Yep.
and race him. And I didn't even say anything else to him.
You're
he
like-
goes,
you're like-
I sat there and he goes, get that fucking car out and race him. I didn't say, oh, well, the motor's hurt.
No,
or-
you said
or
okay.
this or this. And he said, what are you on this list for? I said, to be number 1. He said, what's the difference between number 3 and number 4? And I go, fucking nothing. And I just turned around and walked off and we got
Yeah.
the fucking car ready.
and I was sitting in
And
the
then
truck
you
and was like,
dildos fucking took the fucking shitty lane that I just oiled down.
Yeah, it was fucked up.
You guys did that
awesome.
trying to fucking big dick me is what y'all did.
Yeah, I don't
Y'all
know.
would have never took that fucking lane.
no, they like
They
the
try
right
to
lane.
fucking
No,
show.
they like
we're right.
they-
We're
yeah,
right
but they
lane
try
warriors.
to show
They like the right
we're gonna
lane.
fuck you up in this.
No,
fucked up lane.
They went over because no one knew the lane was that fucked. They went over there and looked at it, and I
We
was
were
like,
looking like 10 or 15
Yeah.
feet past the starting line. I was like, man, this ain't
yeah,
bad.
no, they were looking
Hey,
at
you
it.
know
We
what?
never
I
looked for
walked
the back
it.
tires.
It didn't feel that bad.
They were more worried about, they actually went over there and looked at it, and they're like, look, it was worse because I remember the exact conversation. That's the only time I got out of the truck because they were like, when they were looking at the lane, I stood right next to them. They said it was worse than this at Cash Days, and we went down it.
Yep.
There was tranny fluid everywhere at Cash
Yeah.
Days, and we went right down it.
The
So
mistress
we
oiled
would
that
much
thing.
rather deal with this lane than deal with that bump, is what you had said,
Right.
and that's why they took the right lane, and it didn't work out for them. But
we
know.
struggle with that. That car's so light, it struggles with that bump.
But what it did was you being able to stand up and assume the position of a badass with confidence, you stopped them.
Yep.
There's no one now saying that they could have been number 1 because you stopped them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you wouldn't have raced them, all you would have had to deal with that the rest of your life.
Oh, I know.
That they'd have been number
and
1
I
if you
thought
hadn't
about
stopped
that.
them. So-
Even if I would have fucking lost to him, it still would have been better than not fucking.
Now,
racing
don't get
him.
me wrong. Acting like this has cost me a lot of black eyes and a lot of fucking money in my life. Acting like a moron, but at the same time, when it works out, it's that home run. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So that's fuck it, man. That's the way it is. And just like Goad and McDoogle over here, Goad will do
Whatever he can not to race a
and
motherfucker.
and when McDougal saw that Goad wasn't going to race them that season, because hey, when he was coming up the list, when Plan B was coming up the list kicking ass, you remember Goad gave him the spot.
Yeah,
And
I remember.
Goad said his car was hurt, but it wasn't. He had just raced right before that, and it was fast. He raced
was-
Monza, and he got beat,
it
and
was
he
all
was
blue
fast.
flames, pretty,
Yes.
nothing wrong with that car.
And I believe that Goad just didn't want to get beat that night, so he decided it's the last race of the season. He'd give him his spot, and they can't go anywhere anyway. He'd get it back next season when he gets a bigger motor or whatever. That's how I felt. And when you saw that, you didn't like that, so you jumped on him. So
Well, I mean, just like that deal you're talking about, he's more concerned with losing than he is winning. And it was easier for him to say, well, they never beat me.
yeah.
Because he gave up the spot.
But it was only because he was up to number 4 or whatever. You know what I mean? When he first started on the list, all he wanted to do was race over and over and over and over and over, just like Shane, just like everybody else. But then, hey, even Shane, you know what I mean? After a while, these guys start to get this thing where they feel like they're doing good and they're winning and they got a reputation or something, or their car's fast. Well, then all of a sudden it changes. It's not, I want to win. It starts off, I want to race. Then it goes, I want to win. And then because you get a little bit of winning, you want to do more of it. And then all of a sudden, somewhere along the line, you get up to here and you go, I don't want to lose. And that's when you start fucking up. And that's when you start, assuming the position of a fucking someone for stinky Virginia. You know what I mean? So, but the goat thing, you have gotten in his head he's many
so
times.
ate up. Like, I mean, he's so bad right now. Like, he's the mad. He had a live video this morning.
It's weird because Saturday night, we were racing Saturday night. He was
You
there.
even told him.
I told him, I told him a week ago that the season finale would look bad on him, and he needs to understand that, they can't make you look like that. You either do that stuff or you don't. You know what I mean?
He said they made him. Like, they literally computer generated his mouth saying stuff is the way he put it.
No, that's not what happens.
Oh, we know.
TV is like steroids. If you're strong when you start steroids, you're going to be really strong when you get on steroids. If you're weak when you get on steroids, you're going to be not so weak. You know what I mean? When like it's just it's a multiplier is all it is, right? The TV cameras are a multiplier. So if you're a douchebag on TV, or if you're a douchebag in real life, you're going to be a super douche on TV. Yep. If you're a nice guy in real life, you're going to be super nice on TV.
Like
dominator.
Man, dude, last night you were shitting, on him.
He was so
upset. Aaron goes, "Oh," she goes, "Dominator just wants everybody to like each other."
Dominator's like, "No, I get it, man." And fist bumped him.
And then even at the end, he's
just like, "Come on, man."
You know what it reminded me of? Like on what is it, Bad Boys 1 or Bad Boys 2, where Martin. It falls in the pool and he's all wet and he's trying to fucking fist bump him, because he's like, how's some shit like that even creep into your head? He's like, man, he's like this, he's all wet. Yeah. He's like, my bad.
Dominator is a really nice guy in real life, and he comes off super nice on TV, even a little more nice than he really is. Yes. That's what TV does. It's just a multiplier. So a guy like Goad comes off multiplied, right? Yep. So his moments where he's a badass are multiplied, and when his moments when he's not so badass are multiplied. So all that stuff makes it. And the part that he didn't understand that I was trying to tell everybody was, like, if one of my family members is out here or one of my friends that I love are out here and a stupid fight breaks out between a couple of people that are there, but we're bringing guys in to protect us, and those guys that we're bringing in are have issues or whatever.
Well, they're only here for one reason.
Yeah, they're only
here for the racing.
No,
he even said that in his live video. He said, "My brother don't even know nothing about a car.
Right.
I only brought him
exactly." Now that guy doesn't know who I love out there. That guy doesn't know who all these people are out there. All that guy knows is you.
Right.
So if in his attempt to get you or save his brother from you, if he hurts somebody that I love, I'm not okay with that.
Right.
Right. So if
you don't,
I feel like if you and Goad get into it, you guys are going to just destroy each other. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to destroy everyone around you.
Right.
So an outsider coming in is not going to care about all the around people. All he's going to care about is what he's got to do to get to that guy, right?
Right.
That's what they're there for. So they don't care about the circumstantial, effects. They don't care about the casualties of the fight.
Right.
All they care about is the fight. Whereas you guys will care more about everything else than you do the fight even. You know what I mean? So I don't mind you and Goad getting into it, but I don't like bringing in outsiders to protect us or to handle our business.
Right.
If we need that, then there's a problem. We need to settle that problem somehow, some other way. So, but like, I told Goad, like, if somebody that I love gets killed or hurt or we get rid of this, all this energy that's around us and all these people that think what we do is awesome on television and everything else, if we ruin that over something like this, I'm going to be fucking mad. You know what I mean? Like, that's stupid. This is just plain stupid. If you and Goad want to fight and roll around on the ground, do it. Get it on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We don't need to be bringing in outside influences, because then what's going to happen is every time somebody gets into it with Goad, now they're going to bring an outside influence because they know he's going to bring one. Then before you know it, we're going to have guys walking around with machine guns.
Yeah.
And
biker gangs.
And you're going to have like ridiculous people there to protect you from your buddies. Okay.
Right.
And then those ridiculous people are going to be opposite other ridiculous people, and then they're going to fight just because that's what they do. That's what they're there to do. before you know it, you're not going to be able to stop it. And somebody's wife or sister or friend is going to catch a stray bullet or a stray brass knuckle or a stray fucking nunchuck or whatever in the face. And then I got to kill everybody. You know what I mean? And then I go to prison for the rest of my life. And I don't want to do that. I like street racing.
McDoogle has never said anything about violence. I mean,
well, he wasn't
don't
the
get me
first.
wrong, he'll fight.
He wasn't the first to say it.
Yeah, he wasn't the first one to say anything about violence, you know. And James, I feel like Goad's deal is he's such a troll that
Who is? Oh, McDougal's a troll,
is
right?
such a troll that he can't take it, and he's out of options.
Yeah.
When you run out of fucking options,
violence is your
violence
answer.
is the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
but I believe, and I don't know Goad very well, but I believe that when Goad first threatened violence, he was doing it as an attempt to get out of the situation.
Yes.
I believe that he thought that he could threaten violence, and then McDougal would leave him alone, and everything would be over.
Because most internet trolls,
Because
that
most
would probably work on.
and most people that Goad threatens violence on, they may stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that doesn't work with
we didn't take into consideration that McDougal is from Little Axe.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, that doesn't work with race cars. You know.
No. Race cars have no
It's
feels.
so
Yeah.
funny because I promise you won't intimidate me.
Yeah. So that whole thing was frustrating to me, and let's say it like this. Like I told Goad, they didn't show this on camera, but I told Goad, I said, if your brother was here for the sole reason to protect you, to have your back, then what the fuck was he doing standing 2 foot from McDougal, when you're down there fighting for your life in your car, just went off the road with your chutes
Over
out.
the curb.
God only
everything.
knows
Which
if you're
was
okay.
amazing, by the way, and it took everything away from his performance that night.
Yeah, so Goad did what he had to do. I mean, this is what I tried to tell him. I said, you realize that you came out here, you raced Plan B, you got beat, you paid your money, you raced him again, you got beat, you paid your money, you saved the car. Car's all over the place, tries to crash. You shoot her out, you're off the road. You're off the road, the shoots are out, and you're lucky enough you don't crash, tear the car up, you're not hurt, whatever, right? You do all of that, and you keep your cool through all of it. You deserve a lot. You deserve a lot of respect. It shows you race. It shows you came out here to race, right? You didn't change your whole plan to fight. You changed. You raced. That's what you did. And if your brother was here just to have your back, he would have had your back on that. But instead, your brother was here to do other things. Like intimidation or whatever.
Follow me everywhere I went.
And show everybody why he's there. Well, what that did, all that did was that took away from the great things that James did that night. And the great things James did in the car that night.
They didn't even replay it.
Nope. It took away everything that James had done that night. It shit all over it. Because all that everybody saw was James' brother acting like a crazy person on the starting line.
Yep.
If my brother was there, my brother's crazier than a motherfucker. Y'all know that. And if I told my brother to have my back, he'll have my back. But if I go off the end of the road with my chutes out, my brother's not going to look for some guy to fight. He's going to be running down there to me wanting to know if I'm okay because he's got my back.
Right.
This guy
didn't even look to see if Goad was okay.
No.
Well, he didn't, like he said, he didn't know anything about cars.
It doesn't
Thought
matter.
maybe that was normal.
He
He had no clue. He's just there to intimidate you.
he didn't even care if James's car or him was okay. All he gave a shit about was you. That's what he was there to do.
Right.
That's not what we need to bring into the situation. Now, if James felt threatened or James was scared or James was worried or whatever, then, there may be a day when I bring my brother to race night, you know what I mean? Because somebody's going to beat me up or there's going to be a bunch of them or whatever. But I can promise you, my brother is going to be there to have my back. You know what I mean?
Like I told...
His brother was there to start shit.
Well, like I told one of his fans that was trying to bash on me, I said, wait a minute now. My brother was there. My brother's always there. And my brother has my back. If I was in that car and almost crashed, he would run down there to make sure I was okay.
Yes.
But my brother will never instigate a fight on my behalf. Now, if somebody was jumping on me, you bet your ass my brother would be there to have my back.
All night that guy followed you around and made it very obvious he was following you so that everybody knew what was going on. Okay, and then after James loses and you go to Chuck to get paid, he walks 40 foot. I watched him walk 40 foot over to where you and Chuck were talking. Now,
Like on a mission.
In a hurry.
He did that on purpose. He did that because James lost, and he wanted to see if he could get you riled up because James lost. If he was there to protect James, he needed to be near. And I told him, I said, they didn't even show this on camera either. I said, you're full of shit. If you're here to protect your brother, how can you do it from right here? Your brother's an eighth mile that way.
Yeah.
If you're here to protect your brother's nowhere right. He's not right here. You need to be with him. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, if you're there for protection, you cannot protect. I've had the job of protecting people before. I've had the job of intimidating people before. I know how both of those works. Okay. My family is good at both of them. If you're there to protect someone, you cannot protect them from an eighth of a mile away. There is no protecting is not an offense. You cannot protect someone by starting a fight.
Right.
You protect someone by defending their life, right? You can't defend his life if he's an eighth of a mile away in the dark and you have no idea what he's doing. You know what I mean? If you want to, what if all the people that were there, the ninjas that were there to get him were out there? Then you're acting like an idiot on the starting line while your brother's getting his ass kicked, right? If you're there to intimidate people, you do that face to face.
That's what he was doing.
And that's what he was doing.
I think that they mistook me for a guy that you can intimidate, a guy that would be like, man, I better just leave that guy alone. They're crazy. And everybody through the whole thing, even like Kamikaze, was like, man, you got to chill. Them people are crazy. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'll follow him right now. And I started following him.
Yeah.
It makes me no difference. If you're there to fight me, then let's just fight.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that wore me out. And then at the end of the night, what really pissed me off is I don't like the feud that y'all have. You know, some of it was funny at first, but eventually it got to the point where it worries everybody. You know what I mean? When I don't want to if I don't want people around a certain group all night and I'm telling people, hey, don't go over there. Shit's weird. Just stay over here. I don't want you getting hurt. Like that should never be that way. You know what I mean? But every once in a while you got a man on somebody, right? Every once in a while you're going to fight. Every once in a while somebody's going to fight. Somebody's going to get their face broke or whatever. That's man. You know what I mean? You got a man. But when he walked up there with the intention of man and you stuck your hand out and introduced yourself, that fucked me up. Because that's like, okay, now McDoogle is showing you that he's here to be a man and introduce himself. And this guy's walking around being a weirdo all night. And look, man, it's time for you to get it on. Whatever you're going to do, get it on. But you're going to act like a maniac all night. And then he tries to say he was standing there with Chuck. And it's like.
And Chuck goes.
Yeah. I'm like, Chuck's he here with you? Is he hanging out with you? And Chuck's like, oh, God, don't do this. Don't do this.
Yeah.
He's like, I've talked Chuck several times.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I'm just not, I'm not cool with all that because at some point, those people from California that run that street race night, you know, that run the cameras and the money and all that, those people don't understand man.
No.
A lot of California doesn't understand man.
Very few of them are even a man.
They don't think that should happen. They don't think things like that should go down. You know, people with anything, if you say that the guy might have something in his pocket, they freak out. You know what I mean? Because they've been victims of mass murders out there, mass incarcerations, mass rioting. You know, like they've seen weird shit out there, so they don't want it. They don't want any part of it. They will shut this motherfucker down in a heartbeat.
The only issue is Goat pushes and pushes that he is badass and that he wants to fight and that he wants to race, but he doesn't. Like, he just does. He will only race, like when we're in the driver's meeting, and this probably won't make any air, but he keeps getting the driver's meeting like, let's race right now. Like, well, we can't do that. Like, because that don't make any sense. But we can race after this, and then boom, he's gone.
Yeah,
no more talking about it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to race off camera.
No, won't do it. Will not do it. Yeah. And you know, everybody has their reasons. I understand, but if he would just be honest and say, "Look, man, I can't because of," you know, and then I would be like, "Cool." But instead, he just gets huffy and puffy and flexes his muscles and gets mad and turns red.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, all in all, I thought it was a good episode.
It was.
Hopefully,
I think it was the best
y'all's
yet.
deal worked out. I mean, y'all get away from each other on the list, and I feel like it maybe not go away, but calms down a lot.
Yeah, it's already calmed down a lot. And what's weird is that Saturday night, I talked to Goad, and Goad said he was over it, and he said he thinks it's comical, and he's letting it go, and everything's getting better, and everything's okay. And he said, listen, he said,
on the internet.
He said, man, he said, Justin, I'll be honest with you. These were his exact words to me. He said, I've decided to just do a little bit of what you told me, and that is just not talk so much and shut up and listen a little bit more. And he goes, and you learn real quick when you just listen that most of these people out here have 10 different faces, and anything they say shouldn't affect me. And I was like, well, thank God, Goad. Now you're starting to get it. You're starting to get it because you're right. Everybody out here has to have 10 different faces because of the internet, because of their family, because of their friends, because of their car, because of the TV show. They got to have 10 different, because of their businesses, because of their wives, their girlfriends, whatever. They got to have 10 different faces. So whatever they say shouldn't affect you. You're right. Smartest thing I've ever heard him say. And then obviously after he watched the show last night, I guess something changed because I haven't watched his live feed, but I heard he was all throwing a fit on live feed.
I'm sure it's one of those deals where it probably didn't bother him, but once your family calls you, you know, what's all that?
What are you going to do about
that?
that?
He should have said, hey, you know, I brought brother out there and he acted a fool.
Yeah,
that's what he should have said, but
exactly.
I'm sure he didn't say that.
No, he defended his brother in the live feed deal. He said his brother I'm tired of people coming down on him, and he was just there to protect me. And
look up the definition of
He
protection
probably-
and look up Google what's the best way to protect somebody. I can tell you right now, the best way to protect someone is not to let them be an eighth of a mile out of your sight for any amount of time.
He probably should have said, "Look, I brought my brother, for protection. It got, mixed up a little bit, and
Well, maybe he didn't explain to his brother what protection was, or maybe his brother don't know what protection is. But I can tell you that I've seen famous people with bodyguards. I've seen people that protect people for a living. My brother has protected.
they're not out back in the alley. With the gangbangers.
Nope,
They're standing
they're
right
standing
next to the
Beyonce.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? They're right in there. They're protecting Beyonce's booty, and they're not going to let anybody else. They're not going to let Beyonce
Touch
get
it,
out of their
slap
sight.
it, nothing.
They're not going to let that booty out of
Kiss
their
it.
sight. They're not going to let anybody near that booty.
Agreed.
That's what they do. Now, they're also not going to say, "Oh, that's the one that's been stalking Beyonce. Let's walk out here and talk to him and leave Beyonce up on stage by herself." They're not going to do that. You know why? Because that doesn't protect Beyonce.
Nope.
That's
just intimidation.
Exactly. Now, that may be why the guy was there. That's what I was saying. It may not have been such a protection thing as it was an intimidation. Let's show him that we're crazy type of deal.
Right.
But it's a big mistake. I'm sure they don't want to do that again. I'm sure they're okay. Everything's
Yeah,
fine.
and he hasn't been back since.
And what's weird is that ever since that night, everything's gotten better. But now, now of course, it airs and it brings up all the old shit again. And now
we still operate in drivers' meetings and stuff. We walk past each other 10 times
you
a night.
have to be cordial because we race together.
Right.
Right.
And I told him that. I said, "Man, I'm never going to like you." When that night, at that night, we talked, and I was like, "I'm never going to like you," but that doesn't mean that we can't operate here. We have to operate here because I'm not going away. You're obviously not going away, so we're going to be here every weekend. So we got to figure out a way to where neither one of us is worried about who's going to throw a bolt down somebody's carburetor or who's going to stab somebody around the backside of the trailer. Like, we got to get over that part. Yeah. I mean, some friendly shit talk in the driver's meeting, that's probably always going to happen. And there ain't nothing wrong with that as long as he can be a man about it and say, "Yep, that's just what it was." Yep. And here lately it has been. I'll say something, he'll pop off, and then we move on.
Everything's fine.
But you guys can go back and forth without killing each other.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? There's going to be people in life that you don't like. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's people in my lifetime that I've hated, and I can't be around more than 10 seconds. And when I'm around them, I'm going to say something mean. They're going to say something mean. But, we've also gone years and years of fighting each other every day that we saw each other. And eventually you get to the point where you're like, I ain't doing nobody no good.
Right.
And all we do is hurt for a week or two. So we might as well just acknowledge the fact that we don't like each other, say whatever the fuck we want, and move on and walk past each other and be okay. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
I've come to terms with it that it's just not, he's never going to be what I expect him to be, and life will move on.
God damn, McDoogle. God damn.
Well, I mean, it's just he talks out both sides of his mouth. He says, "I'm this badass and I race because I'm the fastest street race car in the country and this and that." And then I prove him wrong and he's just mad. He's been number 5 for 3 seasons.
No, he made it down to 7 or something and back up, right?
Yeah, he went to 7. I think he made it to 4, gave his spot up, went back to 7. Who knows? But I'll leave him alone.
No, you won't. It's okay. It's okay. You say whatever you want. This is the truth tree, remember? Maybe
the circle of truth.
Maybe I'll talk to Goad, see if I can get him in here, but I doubt he'll come.
I don't think he'll.
I haven't seen his live feed thing, but I heard he was mad.
Pretty mad.
How's he mad on me though? I didn't do anything.
Said that. Basically said you lied.
What did I lie about?
Saying that we didn't have a locked-in race.
Oh no, you did. You locked it in right here in my office.
He said we didn't.
Oh,
and then he played it just so everybody to see that we didn't, and then it even said in the piece that he played that we did. And he's like, "See, I told y'all we didn't."
Just like him saying he's never been beat before, and when he gets beat, he's like, "See, told you, didn't. I've never been beat."
Nope.
Beat myself. Whatever. I beat myself. I don't care. I like Goad. Whatever. I think he adds something to what we've got going on. It's just, I just wish that he would calm down and see it for what it really is, or hit somebody. You know what I mean? One or the other.
There's some things you just got to let go, and he's
down,
not that guy.
Yeah, don't. But
he'll eventually let it go.
But he's not doing anything either. So
I think we're just at a stalemate.
If you're not going to do anything, then let it go. We've all had to let things go, or we've done things.
Yep.
It kills me when somebody sits at number 5 and can't win and keep saying they have a number 1 car. It's like, well, then have it.
Yeah.
Don't say that. Oh well, I'd be number one if I didn't have to wait on this guy and wait on this guy. No.
In the midst of his 9 loss losing streak.
You got to win.
You
to be
lost a
number one.
bunch, even though you're waiting on a guy right now. You lost a bunch to get to
9
this
in a
point.
row.
So, like, oh my God, McDoogle. I haven't counted.
I did.
But
the whole time he's saying, I'm a number one car. I just got to
Right.
wait my turn. And then you lose 9 times.
Right. And it's so that's what's like, hey, if you're number one, be number one. Or if you're a badass, if you're tough, be tough. If you're going to hit somebody, then hit somebody,
That's
goddammit.
it. That's all I ask of a guy.
Yeah, to man.
Just be a man. I mean, if you
just
don't like
man.
me and I piss you off, punch me in the face.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't bring
see
your
what
crazy.
happens from
Just
there.
let you take your glasses off first.
Oh, it's my $40 glasses, and I don't have another pair, so
Right.
and I can't get the contacts in.
Hey, but whenever we go pro mod racing,
I'm getting LASIK
I'm gonna
prior.
get you LASIK. I'll get you some LASIK somehow. Jamaica. I
Oh,
wonder if they have
wow.
an accent.
I
Hang on.
answered
hang
on-
hang
answered
hang
on the
I'm
phone.
gonna answer. Hang on. Hello.
Hello, special. Good afternoon. How are you doing today, sir? Over
Dude.
in Oklahoma.
What's the black guy's name?
Who is this?
My name is Mr. James Daly, calling
Cleveland.
from the Publishers Clearinghouse.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And the purpose of my
Hey,
call
Peter.
today.
Is this Cleveland from? Is this Cleveland from
Family Guy.
Family Guy?
Pardon?
What do you want?
Well, sir, the purpose of my call today, you have luckily won yourself a prize from our company, and it's supposed to deliver to you, sir, over in Oklahoma today.
And then give you my address.
I want a prize from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Is it?
Is
Pardon?
it? Is I want a prize from Jamaica?
Sir, no one is not in Jamaica, right?
Oh, you
Right.
sound like you're in Jamaica, right?
And it said Jamaica, right?
It says Jamaica on my caller ID, sir. Thanks, Coach.
He hung up. He hung up.
Cool
He
running.
goes, he acted like he got mad. He goes,
Yeah.
"Sir, no one is from Jamaica."
That
It
Right?
says Jamaica right on his
It
on
said
the phone.
Jamaica on the phone. Like,
No,
hey, I
it's
thought he
from
was going to
Jamaica,
offer.
right?
I thought he was going to
Right
offer
near the
this-
beach.
at the beach, boy.
Where in Jamaica are you from? Right near the beach.
I thought he was going to offer me a spot on the bobsled team. You know what I mean?
If I wasn't from Jamaica, why would I wear this silly hat?
At the beach, boy. Oh, fuck.
Half
All
baked
right.
was a good one.
Man, that sucked. I hope he was going to give me some prize.
I was hoping he
Some prize
wasn't
smoke.
Cleveland, and he was fucking from Jamaica.
He did sound like Cleveland.
That's
Oh,
funny.
that's got my funk of the day in there.
Oh, Peter.
All right, bitches, we're out. We'll see you next Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
What?
We'll be back
Bet you
on
$1.
Tuesday.
Bet you $1. I'll be back Tuesday.
We will.
Bitches. See ya. Bye. Adios.